Okay, so once again, back at you with another one. And, you know, like I said, this is my first time ordering from Anime Export. Recommend that you guys check out the site. Shipping was pretty fast, so I have no complaints with how it got to me. So let's open this sucker up and see what we got. Okay, so now this is how it was packaged here. So that's pretty cool because you could tell that they handle their orders with care, you know. So you got a box inside of another box with bubble wrap wrapped around it so that the figure gets to you. Okay, I just wanted to show you that. Okay, now this is really cool. I didn't realize that the inside box is actually an SH Monsterarts box. Very, very cool. You got the Bandai logo here, Bandai Namco. And, of course, this figure is the Godzilla 2024 Godzilla Evolved from Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, from SH Monsterarts. You know, but that's, yeah. And then back here it says what figure it is. But that's cool that this, like, it's an SH Monsterarts protective box. Very, very dope. Okay, now we're going to get a really fantastic box here. Now, you know, I've watched other reviews on this figure where they talked about how nice the box was. And I thought, meh, you know, I've seen the color scheme before. It's probably going to be just... No, this is actually nicer, like probably one of the nicest boxes I've seen in quite some time for a Godzilla figure. The colors on it are just popping. You know, you got the color scheme from the pink color scheme and gray and blues and purples from Godzilla X Kong. You got a fantastic picture of the figure here. On the side, you got Godzilla Evolved, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, SH Monsterarts, Monsterverse logo. On the back, you have some really fantastic poses with the figure. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire here. And you can see these very cool different poses. Figure looks great. On the side... This side, you have a nice picture, another picture of the figure, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. Same thing for the top of the box, bottom of the box. But yeah, this is very, very nice. It's like a deep purple around it with blues and the pinks and the grays, and it just looks great, you know. Yeah. I think both Haya and SH Monsterarts have been making some really nice boxes to go along with these figures lately. All of the newer releases have some nice boxes, and this one is definitely one of the top ones. It's just a looker, you know. So let's get them out of the box and see what we got. And, of course, here we're going to get the standard clamshell. It's going to come with the 2 extra claws, and you can see the Goji inside. All right, so let's get them out of there. Okay, so here we go, straight out of the box. You can see the Goj. And it's got, you know, quite a nice paint job on it, as we could see here with the blending in of that, like, sandy color, yellowish color on the front there that's been present. And, you know, just throughout the figure... the toenails are painted really nicely, as are the fingernails. The dorsal plates in the light pink look great. Of course, they continue all the way down to the Thagomizer. You know, this figure came with the head detached. It was a bit of a pain in the ass to get it back into the ball joint and get it on there. I still don't feel like it's on there 100% yet. I might have to heat that up. The feel of the figure is light and flimsy. It feels like a piece of plastic. It doesn't feel like a sturdy SH Monsterarts figure. So I'll just let you know off the bat. You know, maybe it's a matter of like getting used to it. handling it. It is rather loose. You know what I mean? In hand, it feels semi-cheap. You know what I mean? But I'm going to, like, reserve judgment on that and see if it's just lighter so that it gives us more mobility. It's a bit stiff right now, and it feels like it's fragile. Like, the two bottom pieces of the Thagomizer popped off. I had to pop a couple of times. I had to pop those back in. You know, it came with the head knocked off when I took it out of the box. And like I said, it's still not on there very well, very great. But I like the overall look of it. And it's painted nice. So we're gonna get to the functionality of it because I like the look of it. It feels about as light as a Playmates toy. Maybe like even Playmates Kong might be heavier than this. You know, like the 70th anniversary Godzilla is a heavier figure than this. This is very, very, very light, you know. It feels fragile. It feels cheap, but the look of it is very nice. So we're going to dig a little bit further into it. Maybe there's a method to the madness, and it's light like this so that you could get a lot of posability with it. So, but let's pose him a little bit and see what that reveals. So yeah, not surprisingly, and I wanted to go for it right away, is a nice tail off the ground pose, as you see here. And yeah, quite easy to do. You can see the spread of the legs, the width of the legs, and the nice curvature you're going to get with the tail's a little crunchy. It's a little stiff. You have to be careful with it. You'll definitely pop it off if you really give it a bend. So approach that with caution. I think you got to take some heat to this figure for sure. But look at that, man. You know, that's what we're talking about, dude. You know, that's a beautiful pose, and that looks sick. That looks menacing. So straight away, I wanted to go for the posability, you know, to show you what it could do. Especially how it originally felt in hand. But this is a good sign right away because, you know, you can get it into a pose like that, and it's pretty smooth. So let's keep posing them. Okay, so yeah, you know, the bottom line is as I'm posing this guy more and more, like I just heated up the ball joint in the head, and I got the head to stay on properly now. And as this thing moves around and loosens up, my opinion of it is improving because it does look nice. You know what I mean? When I first got it, I was a little concerned because it feels light, but the functionality of it is pretty damn good. You know, especially like in the way the feet move. You know, there's some nice mobility in the legs and the feet. Not so much the legs, but the way the ankles and the feet move are pretty nice. You just have to get used to it. You know what I mean? Because it's Godzilla Evolved. It's different than the other, you know, SH Monsterarts Godzillas that you're used to, basically. You know? It's a different look. It's a different feel. It's different functionality. I put the new hands on it, which I happen to like better than the old regular hands, you know. They're more open, they're more menacing. And I think he looks really nice. The mouth is okay. That looks pretty good too. You know, the teeth are well done. The teeth are definitely well done. They're not sloppy. You know, the inside of the mouth is okay. The tongue is just okay. It's pink like it's supposed to be, you know. You know, the inside of the mouth doesn't really wow me. The tongue doesn't really wow me, but the teeth are well done. So, you know, the inside of the mouth is certainly serviceable. And I think he looks rather nice. You know, I love the shading of the paint. I love the way his chest looks, man. Look at that. You know, like his chest and his belly and the inside of his thighs. The paint job is nice. Like the blending of it is really, really good. Where they kind of captured exactly how he looked color-wise in the movie. So I think that looks rather nice. And let's pose him some more and talk about him some more. So, you know, there's also how Godzilla Evolved basically came to be. He basically hears the calls for help from the Iwis and knows that he's got to charge up. So you'll first see him feeding on the radiation at the nuclear plant, and he has that blue energized Godzilla look. And then after that, he goes to Tiamat's lair to fight and ultimately kill Tiamat and go basically charge himself up in Tiamat's lair. And Tiamat has these, you know, the pink color. So, and the pink color is in Tiamat's lair, which is like supposed to be one of the biggest sources of energy on the planet, you know. So this is like him going into Tiamat's lair is basically to supercharge himself. And so this is the version that we get, you know. And I remember, you know, I know when that first trailer hit, a lot of people were disappointed. They were calling him Wokezilla, Barbiezilla, you know, because we've had a string of woke movies that came out that left everybody pissed off. You know, they seem to do that to every popular franchise. So they did it to Star Wars. So I guess, I don't know, you know, like seeing Godzilla pink gave people some cause for concern, you know. But I guess ultimately you can't ever really make Godzilla woke. You might be able to make the humans woke around them, but you can't do it to him, you know. So, you know, I wasn't too crazy about it first time I saw the trailer. It has definitely grown on me, which is cool. I don't think he's going to stay like this for very much longer. Maybe he'll start off the new movie this way, but then, you know, evolve again. Maybe go back to the traditional blue, or actually one of the rumors was all white dorsal plates, which I think would look rather nice. I would like to see that, actually, if they were like white and black, you know. That might look cool. But, you know, the atomic pink was shocking at first. I think everybody basically got used to it. You know what I mean? And, you know, it was cool to see him like that in the movie. He was pretty badass, some of the things that he did. And, you know, Godzilla was basically an ass kicker that whole movie. And this was the supercharged version, you know. So, yeah, Godzilla was just laying waste to everybody in that movie, and a bit ornery, that's for sure. But yeah, just to dive into a little bit about Godzilla Evolved, you know, that's what I wanted to do, and why he wound up turning pink like that. So, very cool. Let's move on. Okay, now we could get him to look nice and wide. You could see, you could reach his arms out pretty wide, and his legs. His head doesn't go up that much. You know, this is about it. So, you know, that might be a certain gripe that you guys might have. You know, he certainly looks down more, you know, than he looks up. It's not a major deal because it's like the functionality of the neck. If you could see the way these pieces here is smooth for what it does. Like more so on the side to side tip and looking down. You know what I mean? Like you can't get them to really look up into the sky, but you could get some nice side to side and down poses with the functionality of the neck. And it's kind of cool. I think they need to just maybe slightly improve on that. Where he could also maybe look up. But you know, looks really cool that you could spread his arms out wide like that and kind of recreate that the scene when he spread his arms out. But yeah, we're gonna continue to pose this guy. But yeah, that's just one of the things. The neck is kind of like, it's like a double-edged sword, the head. You know, there's certain restrictions on it, but yet what you can do with it is smooth. And it looks good, you know. There's no, if you could see these pieces here, and the gills and such, they're really nice. They work well together. And, you know, that's important, you know. It just has some restrictions on what it could do, but what it is able to do, it's smooth at. So, like all figures, there's going to be high points and there's going to be faults. You know, this is not trash. It's not a shitty figure. It looks good. It looks really nice. The dorsal plates look nice. The Thagomizer, dope. Heat it when you get it, that's for sure. Paint job, very, very nice. The nooks and crannies. Godzilla's skin looks awesome here, as you can see. That's certainly a high point. The overall look of the figure is dope. I think it's more along the lines of you having to just get used to it, because it's Godzilla Evolved and it's different. Looks different, moves different, feels different. Okay, now one thing that's definitely top-notch about this figure is the crawling pose that you could get it into. That looks awesome, you know, especially because of the functionality of the legs and the feet. It allows for a really, really nice crawling pose. That just looks fantastic. And you can really do some cool stuff with the tail too. You know, like the tail bends and it's quite nice actually. It just it felt a little stiff and the two bottom pieces broke off, but now it's working just fine. So my initial worries and complaints are gone, you know. And that looks really, really nice. I love that to have you know, where you could pose it like Godzilla's crawling on the ground. And that just looks fantastic. Yeah, now that just looks amazing right there. Awesome. And now that's about as far down as you could get the head, you know, with the bit of the ab crunch there. So that's about how far down you could get him to look. And that just looks great, you know. I gotta say that, you know, once you get used to handling it, the posability on this figure is quite nice. You can make him do some really cool poses with the way that you can bend them. And it all functions from the legs up. The legs really give this figure some character and mobility. I like the way they function, you know. The whole figure looks really good. Yeah, that looks great. This is a detailed, cool version of Godzilla Evolved right here from SH Monsterarts. You know what I mean? I think they nailed the overall look of it, you know. And minor flaws, but otherwise I quite like it, you know. So let's keep posing them. Now we could basically try to create that running shot from the back of the box here. Which you could do quite nicely. Yeah, that's nice, man. You know, you can see it's got good posability on the arms and legs. Things have been popping off this, and so I'm going to have to, like, maybe put a little of some wood shine on it to get them to stay on better, but that looks really nice that you could do that. You could even, you know, you could probably do it a little bit more. Let's see if we can make him really look like he's running. You could also kind of do a running shot like that, you know, which is kind of similar to how we do the running shots on all of the SH Monsterarts, or even the Playmates for that matter, you know. But you can make it look like the running scene when him and Kong were running at Scar King and Shimo. And that looks really cool. It's a nice looking figure, man. I'm happy with it. I really am. Yeah, I really love the action poses that you could get this thing into, you know. It's the way this thing is constructed is a nod to how agile Godzilla was in Godzilla X Kong and more athletic, you know what I mean? Because you could get this thing into a low base where he, you know, it's like it's a real combat ready Godzilla. And I love that, you know what I mean? Get him low to the ground. You could really get him looking like he's ready to scrap. And I like that about this. As far as the swimming pose, kind of not so much. So that, you know, if you're crazy about getting him and put him into a swimming pose, not the greatest here because his head doesn't look all the way up, you know. So you can't get him really to look straight ahead like he is swimming. The rest of his body does it, but you know, that's about what it's going to look like. You can't just really get his head higher than that. So you could get him into a really nice stepping on Kong pose. I love that. I love how you could balance this guy. You know, give you a closer look at the details on the face and teeth here, the eyes, and the details on the skin. But look at that. That's awesome. You know, and that's a tail off the ground pose. You know, like that's beautiful balance that you could do that and recreate that scene. It looks so great. It looks so realistic. Awesome. I also really like the way the chest up top here swivels and turns to the side, so you can really kind of get him looking to the side. And he really looks like he did in a movie here, you know, like they really captured it, you know. Very lizard-like in this form as well. And, you know, we can also just focus on these dorsal plates. Let's get a close-up of these. Really nice detail on them here. You can see that. Yeah, they're well done. Well painted, well done. And I think that looks quite nice. But it's nice to get the swivel here on the top part of the chest so you can really get him looking off to the side like that. And, yeah, you know, that's just a great pose. So now I just want to compare him with the SH Monsterarts Godzilla 2024, basically the re-evolved, which, you know, I'm very glad that I have both of these right now because they're so different, you know. And it's nice to have these two two different forms of Godzilla from the movie. Maybe SH Monsterarts will do the energized version, like Kaya did, but these two are very nice. Like this figure right here got a lot of complaints from people, and I just absolutely love it. It's such a nice figure, and it's so soft and posable. And then this is different. This is not soft, but it's super posable. You know, it's just, this is kind of different when you hold it in your hands. You'll see the difference from other SH Monsterarts figures, you know. This one is a mover. You know what I mean? Like, you could really shape and bend and mold it into different wild-ass positions. But, so happy to have both of these. Alright, so now I basically just want to compare them with Godzilla -1 from SH Monsterarts. So you could see what these two look like next to each other. You know, these guys right here dominated the theater. They dominated the the movie scene. They dominated Hollywood. They destroyed woke Hollywood. Two very important Godzilla designs. You know what I mean? Of course, you have -1. It's a fantastic design by Takashi Yamazaki. And, you know, the movie won an Oscar. So, it was a major success. Godzilla X Kong, you know, major success. Almost 600 million, I think. I don't know. I got to check the numbers on that. But it was definitely over 500 at one point. So, I gotta check that. But, yeah, I mean, these two knocked it out of the park for Godzilla. These two Godzillas guaranteed us many more Godzilla movies over the years to come. You know what I mean? It was 2023, 2024 was very, very popular for Godzilla. And two very nice figures to commemorate it from SH Monsterarts. And this is very cool. This is all of the SH Monsterarts figures that I have of all of Godzilla's different forms. Just to compare it here with Godzilla's different forms in the Monsterverse, minus the Burning Godzilla. I don't have that one yet. I do intend on getting the SH Monsterarts Burning Godzilla. So I have all of his forms. But you have the 2014, 2019, 2021, 2024 Re-Evolved, and 2024 Evolved. So, and you add the Burning Godzilla to it, and perhaps the Energized Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? So then you would have 7 different forms of Godzilla in the Monsterverse, which is very cool. He just keeps evolving. The look, basically, you know, it stays fairly similar, but it changes in other regards. You know what I mean? I definitely like the big boxier head on the 2014 than we got on some of these, and happy that they returned to a bigger, more proportional head on the Godzilla Evolved. All right, so there we go, folks. That's a wrap. SH Monsterarts, Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire, Godzilla 2024 Evolved version from Godzilla X Kong. And I highly recommend this figure. As I was doing this review, the further and further I got into it, the more I fell in love with this figure. I initially thought, wow, this feels cheap. The pieces are popping off of it. I've solved all those problems. I've gotten used to handling it. I love the way it moves. I love the feet and the legs. They give this, you know, figure a ton of posability. I like the way the arms function now. I like the way the head functions. It's super cool, man. Super, super cool, the different poses you could get this guy into. And, yeah, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire was a great movie. It was a wild ride. I quite enjoyed it. I saw it a bunch of times. And I'm looking forward to seeing where the direction is headed next. We got a new director, so let's see where it goes. But this is super cool, and I do highly recommend the figure. If you like it, go out and get you some Godzilla Evolved. And like and subscribe to my channel. Peace out, folks.